Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If we could take our seat, we are ready to begin. What a packed house. We do have some room in the balcony also. Well, good morning. It is my pleasure to be with you today. I am Jonna Reeder Claymire, and it is an honor to represent the Colorado Springs Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development Corporation. Good morning and welcome. And you are in for a treat this morning. We are going to hear from the chair of the Board of El Paso County Commissioners, Ms. Carrie Geithner. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are able, would you please rise for the presentation of the colors from the El Paso County Color Guard. I ask that everyone please remain standing. We'd like to welcome Kaylee Baker, a senior from Sand Creek High School, to perform the national anthem. It's an honor to have her today singing the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets, the bombs bursting in gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. Now, how's that for starting your morning? I got chills. Whew. Tough act to follow. Oh, with that being said, we'd like to recognize our elected officials. Without you, this would not remain a business-friendly county. This would not remain a place where we are not overburdened by burdens on business. I would love for all of our elected officials to please stand and let us thank you for your service. Elected officials. And now for our sponsor recognition. I know I say this every time, but we've got a great program for you, but we would not be able to do this without our sponsors. I can't thank them enough. First, our presenting sponsor today is Pinnacle Advanced Primary Care. Yes. We're going to hear from them shortly. Let's also give it up for our supporting sponsors, Norwood Development Group and the Gazette. And last but certainly not least, our contributing sponsors whose logos are on the screen behind me. Would you please give it up for them? And now a little bit more about our presenting sponsor, Pinnacle Primary Care. Pinnacle is a healthcare disruptor leading the shift to a free market model called direct primary care. Pinnacle was benchmarked as one of the fastest growing direct primary care in the country, now serving over 250 businesses here in El Paso County. My team at the Chamber and EDC, we also utilize their services and benefit from their personalized care. I'm excited to announce that Pinnacle joined the Chamber's Member Savings Program, making healthcare even more affordable for you as our members. Before we welcome Team Pinnacle to the stage, let's watch a short video about how their innovative healthcare model has impacted our region and our community.
So at Pinnacle, we really focus on primary care as the foundation for a business's health plan. When employees don't have access to the primary care system, they resort to using the ER and urgent care for their everyday healthcare needs. Unfortunately, this is the most expensive place to get your care. One of the benefits with Pinnacle is we're like the Netflix of healthcare. So your employees are going to have unlimited access to our clinic with no co-pays, deductibles, or office visit fees. So there's really no barrier to entry to getting really good primary care.
So what the direct primary care model fixes, just in one fell swoop, are two of the biggest problems with the traditional healthcare industry. One is that they use insurance to pay for primary care. And we believe that it should be more cash-based, because if you price it in a transparent way, it winds up being much more cost-effective to not use your insurance to pay. The other thing that DPC fixes is that it is no longer a fee-for-service model. What fee-for-service means is that you get paid by the appointment. So there's a financial incentive to cram as many of those appointments into the physician's schedule as possible. Direct primary care eliminates all of that as well because it's a membership.
I'm Dr. Lindsay Ganser. I'm the owner and CEO of North Springs Veterinary Referral Center, and we are members of Pinnacle Advanced Primary Care. We are a 24-hour emergency veterinary hospital and then a multi-specialty hospital. I chose Pinnacle for my employees because I wanted them to have options. I wanted them to have the ability to have what we're providing from the veterinary industry in the human industry. From a business standpoint, it saves you as an employee a lot of money. Normal healthcare, if you go with one of the big in-the-box packages, is going to cost you hundreds of dollars per employee, and that's not the case with Pinnacle.
Hi, I'm Joanna Smith, co-founder and CEO of Pro Auto Spa. We're an auto appearance and protection studio. We partner with Pinnacle Advanced Primary Care and offer that as a benefit to our employees. We had tried to have other insurance benefits for our employees, but we were too small. We didn't have enough people to be able to get a decent rate that we could even afford. And so we just never offered benefits until we met Travis. I would definitely encourage any small business owner to at least have a discovery meeting or a lunch and learn. You'll be amazed at what you can get for so little.
I know when we look at the US healthcare industry and solutions to fix it, it can be extremely overwhelming. But the first thing that we can do is restore our primary care system. You as a business can take an action today to provide amazing primary care and family medical access to your employees while supporting an independently owned primary care family practice right here in Colorado.
You could be one of the business owners that not only saves 20 to 40% by switching to this model, but also forces the entire industry to reform itself and change to a much more sustainable healthcare industry going into the future.
Now let me introduce Travis Bockenstad, the Chief Experience Officer, and Denise Larzo, the Director of Member Services at Pinnacle Advanced Primary Care.
Aren't we lucky to have Jana in our community? We love you, Jana. Today's theme is fitting because Pinnacle is forging the future of healthcare in El Paso County by putting the family doctor at the heart of business. In a time when the US healthcare system is uncertain, Pinnacle guarantees access and affordability no matter the politics or policy. Every wise business diversifies revenue streams and supply chains. Now it's time to do the same with healthcare.
We're excited to introduce our speaker today, Carrie Geithner, Chair of the El Paso County Board of Commissioners, who will give insight into economic, social, and developmental aspects that define our county. And now it's time for the State of the Region.
The future isn't promised, it's earned. Like the glowing metal on this anvil, it is shaped by the vision and resolve of those who came before us and the deliberate choices we make today. Each strike, every decision, ripples forward, building on the past and defining the possibilities ahead. What we do today has consequences far beyond what we can see, demanding purpose and determination. As we reflect on our journey and look to what lies ahead, let us forge a future of strength, innovation, and determination together. Welcome to the State of the Region. And now, please welcome to the stage the Chair of the Board of El Paso County Commissioners, representing District 2, Carrie Geithner.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us for the 2025 State of the Region. I couldn't be more excited to be here today, and not because I like to give speeches. It might surprise you that not every elected official loves a microphone, but I do love the opportunity to share about El Paso County, including businesses like Kilroy's Workshop. Not only were they featured in the opening video, but they have the prestigious honor of forging the sabers for cadets attending the United States Air Force Academy. Their talent has been nationally recognized on the History Channel's Forged in Fire series. Kilroy's has had 13 contestants appear on the series, including 4 who brought home the win as champions, and they are keeping the tradition of forging alive here in El Paso County. As our community and businesses come together, I'm excited to report that the state of the region is strong. I'm also excited about the progress we've made in the last year and the opportunities ahead for our region and our nation. Like the blacksmiths of years past, equipped with fire and hammer, we stand poised, ready to shape the future of El Paso County with intent, focus, and precision. We are keenly aware that each strike on the anvil must be precise and each heat calculated for us to mold a future that is both purposeful and enduring. Today, our forge is not of fire and steel, but of ideas, innovation, and service. Just as the blacksmith required an understanding of the properties of his metal, we must understand the needs and dreams of our community and have the policy knowledge and wisdom to secure the government necessary to achieve it. In the realm of governance, we too are guided by those who came before us, our founding fathers and the pioneers that settled the West. Our founding fathers' wisdom, formed from their experience with tyranny, oppression, and disregard for individual liberty, clearly articulates for us the proper role of government. We all stand on the shoulders of those who came before us and act boldly to forge a future for everyone that will come after us. We also have a proud pioneer heritage in our community, and it's something I feel deeply connected to. The resilient settlers who brought order to this rugged region built a foundation of rich tradition that should be remembered and revered. Just like our region's pioneers, we can forge a future through grit, determination, and despite limited resources. We adapt, make do, and lead. My fellow commissioners and I thrive in this environment. Every decision we make today, every policy we craft, every project we undertake, and every service we offer shapes our region. To responsibly forge our future, we must take a step back, be introspective, and course correct as the data tells us how we're doing. El Paso County is working hard to do just that by forging the future through our strategic plan and building trust through transparency. Nearly 4 years ago, El Paso County selected a new county administrator, Brett Waters. And under his incredible leadership, we embarked upon a new strategic plan. This plan is the lens through which we evaluate every decision we make, the roadmap for our future. Our values are perfectly encapsulated in that strategic plan. Transparency, trustworthiness, accountability, these aren't just buzzwords for us. They are part of our core values. These values guide everything we do at the county. Living up to those values is how we measure our success. And measuring is something we are doing a lot of at the county these days. We recognize that every dollar we spend is a dollar that was earned by one of our residents. That's why we not only respect that our residents prefer low-tax, low-cost government, the Board of County Commissioners defends that position as representatives of the people. We focus on providing the essential and cost-effective public services our residents expect. But low cost doesn't mean low quality. We are committed to value for each of our residents, so we stay laser-focused on our mission. We didn't jump on the DEI bandwagon, and we won't fall victim to the next divisive and wasteful fad either. We will consistently deliver high-quality core services. Instead of holding out our hand for more, from us, you will hear innovate, cut waste, measure, refine. And I'll tell you, Doge may have Elon Musk, but we have Brett Waters. Efficiency isn't Brett's only strength. He is the embodiment of another one of our core values, trustworthiness. I've always told my kids, if you want to be trusted, you must be trustworthy. At El Paso County, we do want to be trusted, so we strive to be trustworthy. And a big part of that is transparency. One demonstration of our commitment to transparency is our use and reporting on federal dollars from the American Rescue Plan Act. To be honest, I'm concerned about out-of-control federal spending that has led to record inflation. It would be easy for a local government to say, not my problem, and gleefully go on a spending spree. But this commission is painfully aware of the long-term implications to our children and grandchildren. We carefully considered how those dollars could be utilized in a responsible way that would alleviate burdens on the future generations. So we created better processes than we had used before to make better decisions. We looked deeper into our community to be mindful to support every corner of our county. We examined projects that would have exponential impact for the future of our residents. We also invested the maximum amount allowed by law into roads as well as county stormwater infrastructure. I'm proud to say of all the projects we funded through ARPA, I think some of the largest positive impacts were in eastern El Paso County. Rama is a town of just more than 100 residents. I bet a lot of you haven't been to Rama, but these are salt of the earth people who just like country living. Unfortunately, small towns struggle to provide critical services in the face of state and federal regulation. As commissioners, we saw a need for a transformative upgrade to Rama's wastewater treatment system. By decommissioning and replacing their existing treatment plant, this project ensures the town remains in compliance with state requirements, safeguards public health, and protects our waterways. This was no small feat. With a $2 million investment, we've provided Rama with a modern facility that would have otherwise been out of reach for this rural community. In Calhan, we've funded vital upgrades to their wastewater treatment facility as well. We extended the life of the infrastructure by 20 years. This ensures the facility can continue serving residents and businesses effectively. These are practical investments that reflect our commitment to our rural communities, infrastructure, and being good stewards of God's creation, so we can maintain reliable services now and in the future. But as impactful as those projects are, we knew we had to be able to share that information and to be accountable to the public. $150 million in taxpayer funds is a lot of money, and our citizens deserve to know exactly how it was spent. That's why our finance department, led by our CFO, Nikki Simmons, and Deputy Chief Financial Officer, Amanda Grant, were motivated to be transparent because it's the right thing to do for taxpayers. But it wasn't just us who thought it was the model for good government. That effort earned our finance department the #1 award nationwide for transparency from the National Association of Counties. We are committed to leading the way here in El Paso County, being a model for communities across Colorado. Because quality service is part of who we are, and we are service-focused, we are always looking for new ways to provide that quality to our community. Listening to our community and collaborating with partners is an important part of that. That's why when a member of the Falcon community came to me with an idea about increasing utilization of the Falcon Regional Park by organizing a family-friendly kite festival, I knew our team would make it happen. The first year, it was evident that families love this event, the open skies, and the opportunity to learn and play together. It's a testament to our community's focus on strong families and traditional values, creating cherished memories, and meeting our neighbors. Last year, we hosted this event for the 3rd time, and boy, it's a keeper. The Falcon Kite Festival continues to grow tremendously. It is now one of my personal favorites, and last year, it earned the prestigious National Association of Counties Achievement Award. The Kite Festival at Falcon Regional Park is just one example of how our parks remain some of El Paso County's greatest treasures. From the peaceful trails at Fox Run to the stunning views at Bear Creek, there is something for everyone to enjoy. This year, we also celebrated a significant milestone with the grand opening of an ADA accessible dog run at Fountain Creek Regional Park, ensuring that everyone, regardless of ability, can access and explore these cherished community spaces. One of those spaces is the El Paso County Fairgrounds, home to the best fair in the state. It's more than a celebration, more than carnival rides, funnel cake, and thrilling shows. Though if you haven't experienced our demolition derby, you are really missing out. The week-long event highlights the importance of agriculture, including the hard work that our farmers and ranchers put in day after day to provide food for our tables. It's a living demonstration of our proud Western heritage by a community that loves our country and their families. When you live in the country, you learn the value of hard work. You also forge strong bonds with your neighbors, extending a helping hand before asked. The spirit of caring for others is demonstrated in the partnership of the El Paso County Junior Livestock Sale, the 4-H program facilitated by Colorado State University, the Protein for Helping Others nonprofit, and the Springs Rescue Mission. In 2024, through P4HO, more than 53 animals sold at the El Paso County Fair were donated to the Springs Rescue Mission, providing an incredible 5,500 pounds of protein. This healthy natural meat is used to provide meals for clients and utilized by the mission for job skills training in their culinary program. This critical rural and urban partnership provides not just a handout, but a hand up towards independence. Participating in this initiative, 4-H and FFA members are gaining more than confidence and skills. They are learning the value of service, accountability, and collaboration. These young leaders are forging a legacy of compassion and responsibility that will pave the way to the county's future. But the only kind of paving that we were hearing about from residents a few years ago were the places where potholes had taken over. Roads and bridges connect residents to schools, businesses, and recreational spaces. But our roads were not in the shape our taxpayers deserved or expected, and we've worked hard to correct that. Since 2017, the county has made a massive investment into our roads, equaling $149.7 million in permanent, one-time, and federal funds in addition to the baseline budget. And as our citizens would tell you, they needed it. It was about time folks in Colorado Centers got their roads fixed. And I credit the tenacious efforts of now former Commissioner Lojinos Gonzalez for getting that done. One of our most ambitious endeavors is the South Academy Boulevard Improvement Project. With a budget of $73 million, this transformative initiative focuses on widening South Academy to enhance traffic flow and safety. Along with bridge and drainage improvements, this project addresses some of the most pressing challenges in our transportation network. While the substantial completion is anticipated in 2026, the benefits will be felt for decades. We are also making significant progress on Phase A of the Highway 105 project, just outside of the town of Monument. I appreciate Commissioner Williams' passion and advocacy for her district, ensuring this project was a priority for the county. This $30 million project upgrades the highway from 2 lanes to 4, improving not just traffic capacity, but also safety and accessibility, ensuring that students, parents, and educators have safer, more efficient commutes. Substantial completion is expected this year, bringing this vital corridor up to modern standards. Lastly, the Rex and Meridian Road project, which was completed this past November, represents a targeted investment of $10 million aimed at addressing safety at a high-traffic intersection. This project underscores our focus on reducing congestion and improving safety at critical points across the county. At least once a week, a resident in Falcon catches me at King Soopers, at church on Sunday, or some other chance meeting and tells me what a difference this improvement has made in their daily life. I couldn't be more proud of the team at the county and the contractor, Elite Services Infrastructure, that got the job done ahead of schedule and under budget. But it's not just about the biggest projects. We've also tripled the number of lane miles maintained in our gravel road dust abatement program. We have completely changed our approach to public works. We've moved to a data-driven preservation program that focuses on getting the most longevity from every road by strategically repairing to achieve maximum lifespan. In 2022, we kicked off this initiative by utilizing advanced technology to evaluate every road. We then used innovative software to craft a preservation strategy. The success of these initial years has been recognized with not 1, but 2 Colorado Asphalt Paving Awards for our Public Works team, celebrating us as the best in Colorado for paving and preservation programs. These projects and initiatives demonstrate our commitment to building infrastructure residents need to take their kids to school, build their businesses, and live their lives the way they want. This is what being service-focused is all about, addressing current challenges and anticipating future needs. We are literally paving the way for what the future holds. As we strive to enhance our road network, we must plan for the occasional detour. Our state has resisted necessary road expansions in a misguided push towards questionable climate objectives. However, the truth is clear. Coloradans, perhaps even more so in El Paso County, like their cars. Congested traffic leads to increased pollution from idling vehicles far more than well-designed, appropriately scaled roads. To overcome these hurdles, we'll need a unified front from the city, the Colorado Springs Chamber and Economic Development Corporation, local businesses, and residents. Together, we must urge the state to step aside and allow us to manage our road infrastructure effectively. Despite the often frustrating lack of common sense at the state level, our commitment to maintaining essential services remains steadfast. We are dedicated to forging a future where El Paso County continues to thrive. As El Paso County grows at an exponential rate, we would be wise to take a cue from states like Texas, South Carolina, and Florida, and demand policymakers learn from mistakes made in Washington, Illinois, and California. We've all watched as companies have fled these states due to high taxes, overregulation, rampant drug use, and crime. As commissioners, our responsibility is to manage and protect every dollar we collect and spend. We've kept both under control in El Paso County while increasing service quality and growing our reserves for emergencies. We acted when your property taxes skyrocketed in 2024, reducing the county's portion of that bill by over $20 million. We have consistently issued millions in Tabor refunds. We led the charge at the state capitol for even further property tax relief during last year's legislative special session. Our actions were in stark contrast to many special districts and local governments who simply forgot that families are struggling. They forgot to step back, be introspective, and learn the lessons from our past to forge a brighter future. Our work at the legislature on property tax relief reminds us that even if we maintain our roads, support local law enforcement, and prioritize our budget, residents can still suffer because of bad policies at the state level. This is especially true for issues like rising cost of living, increasing crime rates, and people wondering if there's enough opportunity for themselves and their children. As the largest county by population in the state, there has been a disconnect in a consistent regional approach to advocacy with organizations and individuals engaging in their own battles. But if we're not fighting together, we've already lost. Our region was forged on a common vision of what the future could be. In recognition of this reality, I brought forward a policy initiative supported by the entire Board of County Commissioners known as the Pikes Peak Promise. The foundation of the promise is unlocking opportunity, cost of living, and public safety. El Paso County convened leaders and subject matter experts from a variety of different industries to meet on each topic and to identify and prioritize legislative solutions. In order to unlock opportunity, especially for the more than 100,000 active duty and veterans of our armed forces, we proposed legislation that would allow for licensure and credentialing from other states to be honored in Colorado. As a wife of a former active duty and current reserve officer, I knew these changes were needed. I am proud the governor signed 4 opportunity bills into law. Another element of the Pikes Peak Promise is addressing the rising cost of living. Regardless of your income or economic status, we've all felt the pain over the last few years. The hit to our wallets has been real. Some of the most affected have been our region's seniors. Many have been forced to pick between eating, ensuring they have the medication they need to survive, or paying their mortgage. This is a choice we don't want our seniors to have to make. To provide meaningful tax relief to seniors is an objective of the promise. We supported House Bill 24-1052, which the governor signed into law in June 2024. The third and final element of the Pikes Peak Promise is public safety, as it's a key component in the quality of life for our residents. Over the last few years, the Colorado General Assembly has introduced and passed numerous bills that have placed criminal rights over victim rights and tied the hands of local law enforcement. As a result, citizens feel less safe in their communities, and over time, their trust in government has diminished. With the help of District Attorney Michael Allen, we identified the need for truth in sentencing. Here at El Paso County, we know that sentences should mean something and be enforced. There was a time that violent criminals were serving, on average, less than half of their sentences. Though the majority party at the legislature rejected a common sense bill to protect citizens, thankfully, our friends at Advance Colorado empowered voters to do the work our legislature failed to do. Proposition 128 passed in a landslide with 62% of the vote, and now, for the first time, violent offenders will serve at least 85% of their sentences, and career criminals must serve their full sentence before being eligible for parole. We are grateful for the many of leaders who participated, including council members Lynette Crow Iverson and Brian Risley, in the development of this Pikes Peak Promise. Now, we are inviting you to help us grow the coalition. We would like to ask you to consider joining us in this exciting endeavor. Supporting the promise does not bind you or your organization to a specific proposal or introduced bill, but instead demonstrates unity and solidarity with the region as we look to forge the future of our community. Building on our promise to protect the values and priorities of El Paso County residents, we also took a strong stance on another significant challenge facing our region: illegal immigration. Overcoming this challenge required bold action and unwavering dedication. You do not have to look very far to see the economic and public safety failures associated with sanctuary cities. And when some of those cities wanted to dump their failures on the doorstep of El Paso County, your county commissioners acted. We, along with Sheriff Roybal, proudly joined Douglas County in a lawsuit over the state's unconstitutional prohibition against law enforcement, working with federal government. Though we were not able to get relief through the courts, we are tenacious and right back at supporting legislative efforts to repeal these sanctuary state laws. Let me be clear. Regardless of some statements to the media, these sanctuary laws exist, and the state is hindering the ability of local law enforcement to keep our communities safe. We will cooperate to the full extent of the law with the federal government to protect our community from the negative impacts of illegal immigration. The board also passed a resolution to support President Trump's executive orders. Through these actions, your elected officials have sent a loud and clear message that we are not going to be the next San Francisco, Chicago, New York, or Denver. As we forge our future, we stand on the foundation of our founding fathers and pioneer heritage preserved by the commissioners who served before us. This year, we had to say goodbye to 2 term-limited commissioners who are here with us today. Please join me in thanking Commissioners Vanderwerf and Gonzalez for their years of dedicated service, thoughtful leadership, and commitment to a smooth transition. We also welcome Commissioners Wysong and Applegate to the board, who are just as committed as their predecessors to doing their part to forge our future. On the policy front, we'll continue to unlock opportunity by championing education reform. We will ensure we have enough judges and courthouse space so victims of crime can get justice. We will enhance public safety by giving law enforcement the tools and protections they need to do their job. On housing and development, we will rewrite our land use code under the leadership of our planning director, Megan Harrington, to better serve our growing community. We'll cut red tape, drive efficiency, and minimize costs to make sure we are doing our part for housing affordability. Safety and growth paying its own way will continue to be important, as it has always been, and you can be sure that my staunch defense of private property rights is as strong as ever. Remember when I said we've been measuring a lot at the county? We will be adding another layer of transparency by creating a dashboard in alignment with our strategic plan to track the county's progress on our most important projects and metrics. There will always be challenges, but the state of our region is strong, and I have never been more optimistic about the future possibilities. Abraham Lincoln once said, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." That's what we're doing, forging a future that is bright through bold leadership and a clear vision. I promise you this, every appointee we designate, every dollar we spend, every policy we enact will be aimed at forging a future that reflects the values we were elected to uphold. Let us remember that our actions today shape the future. Each of us, business leaders, community members, and elected officials, has a role to play. At the county, we are going to continue building a legacy of transparency, trustworthiness, and accountability. Together, we can create a community that thrives for today and generations to come. The future isn't waiting, it's ours to forge. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your remarks, Commissioner Geithner. Your chamber and EDC is honored to be walking hand in hand with our entire region, El Paso County and Teller counties, that we represent in so many of these important issues. Let me also stop and say thank you again to our sponsors today. Could we give them one more round of applause? Now, the Chamber and EDC has hit the ground running in 2025, and we're so pleased with today, but we have more big events coming up. So let me just remind you of a few of those. Our partner organization, the Pikes Peak Housing Network, on February the 20th, will be hosting their first State of Housing. We have a lot of states of here, very important things. The State of Housing, it will be their inaugural event at Phantom Canyon, and will celebrate the many new homes that have been built in the Pikes Peak region over the past year. They'll give some data from 2024. I agree, that is a shout out. We need more housing at all income levels. And they'll give some forecasts for 2025. So I hope you will take a look at joining that important event. On March the 7th, we have Mind, Body, and Business, which is a celebration and also a training for International Women's Day. This is one of the events that we host as a training in conjunction with the Garden of the Gods Resort and Club. And this year's presenting sponsor is UC Health. You know, let me just remind you, UC Health sponsored today, they're sponsoring then, and if you missed it right before the holidays, they announced a $400 million expansion on the north side of town. We're getting double the size. I agree. So give Lonnie Kramer a hug for me, because that's more investment in El Paso County. Back to Mind, Body, and Business. If you or your employees are interested, it's a unique, high-impact leadership workshop that brings together many keynote speakers and breakout sessions to focus on leadership. So think about that for your employees. You can register for these or any of our many events on our website at cscedc.com. Or you can visit our mobile app. And I know I'm just a good old country girl, but I do know how to spell chamber. It is spelled with the app, CHAYMBER. So take a look at either one of those outlets. Now, we have this space. Y'all think that's really funny? It's the accent. My mother's been in town and my accent has gotten a little stronger, so forgive me, y'all. All right, and with that being said, we have this space until 10 o'clock this morning. I hope you'll stay in network, and thank you for joining us for the State of the Region. Have a great day.